Eguardión. Eguardión is new.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here today to talk to you about vocational education and training and seeing people out there, all of those people who work in VET. We've had a great morning. It's a pleasure to be here. And I want to make use of these few minutes before closing to talk about our project and to share with you the Basque VET. There's so many people here working in VET, and I'm just talking about teachers. I'm talking about people in the world of VET. There are many of you out there this morning. We all form a part of a system. As I said, I wanted to make use of this closing ceremony to tell you a little bit about what we're up to. Our leitmotif here in vocational education training is VET to serve people and society. Somebody might think, okay, well, society are people, society is people rather, but we coined it in this way on purpose, because if we just talk about people, you might think that we're talking about our students, those people that come to our training schools, but we as society, we feel that that's a lot more than just those people that come to our VET schools, because we're part of an ecosystem, and the VET ecosystem is, of course, town councils, businesses, families. So that's why we include the word society as well as people. Of course, I'm really aware when you talk about businesses, when you talk about business fabric and how things are very, very difficult for the business world at the moment. And we're seeing what's happening around the world. That's why I want to reiterate our leitmotif here, our motto. And I say that because we understand VET as two sides to one thing. People first. We want to offer people an opportunity to progress. It's a right that we all have. We want to offer them a path to build themselves a life. And that means everybody, not just younger students. We want to offer everybody the possibility of developing, progressing, of acquiring skills, knowledge that will allow them to progress in their life project. But we also want to offer employability, the possibility of accessing the labor market in as optimum conditions as possible. And this is something that's really important. So that's why I say that it's a two-sided coin. The other side of the coin is the business fabric. Of course, we're here to serve businesses. We want to offer businesses, companies, the people that they need to be competitive. We need to be competitive. We need people that have the skills to provide businesses with high added value. It's what we call talent. That's why in our motto, I spoke about we are here to serve society and people. And so that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. When I talk about companies or businesses, and I'll talk about the integrated system a little bit later, that is collaboration with businesses, is actually a lot more than taking our students to these companies. It's actually being a part of the learning process, and businesses are a part of the learning process, so that this learning process is as best as it can be. They're also, of course, part of the problems that they experience the day-to-day, and we know that businesses have problems innovating, so we want to try to serve them and help them solve those problems. I said that I wanted to tell you how we do things. This morning, We've heard many, many things. I don't know if there is a subject or a question that we're worried about as things stand today that we haven't touched upon this morning. We've spoken about that and many, many other things as well. But I wanted to tell you about the how. I wanted to talk to you about our structure. We have a comprehensive and integrated system. We've spent many, many years, over 30 years, in fact, working on a integrated vet system. What does that mean? It sounds like a bit of a hackneyed phrase. That I'm going to talk to you first what do I mean about integrated. And an integrated system or comprehensive system means that we are able to offer society everything that we can develop and everything that we can offer. And here we're talking about our training schools as part of an ecosystem. That ecosystem is where they're located, the region, the country, Europe, and the world. We're part of an ecosystem. We need to respond to that ecosystem. We need to be aware of that ecosystem, keep our eye on it, and create atmospheres, environments in our colleges to be able to receive the information that is necessary to take correct decisions and follow a correct strategy. And that is part of our integrated schools. Once again, we are here to serve. I'm going to repeat that again. When I say we're here to serve, that includes women. How do we attract women? That's something that we're speaking about earlier. How can we get women on board in VET? And how can we attract them to industry? Because industry and VET will be better if there are more women. This is another important thing. We don't want anybody to be left behind. Nobody should be left behind. That's what we mean by integrated, comprehensive. What it means is that the knowledge that we have to impart be knowledge that is relevant today and relevant in the future. That's what comprehensive, integrated, integral means. It means internationalization, it means supporting entrepreneurship, it means innovation to learn, it means innovation to support SMEs, it means accompanying people who want to create a company, it means accompanying innovation projects. And this word integral or comprehensive is a never-ending word. I'm sure in a few years needs will be other. And now we have a greater weight attached to migration than in previous years. And the second keyword, perhaps, is system. System is a really important word for us. A system needs to be developed. It needs to be broached. Many who came here may have realized that we here in the Basque Country have valleys, mountains, rivers. You can go from one side of the Basque Country to the other in an hour and a half, but it's a bit of a difficult geography. There are lots of little tiny villages in different valleys, lots of small companies, many SMEs, and many vocational training schools in these valleys. So we are comprised of many small organizations, many of which are world leaders, and we want them to carry on being world leaders. And this leads to this feeling of belonging. You know, we Basques are very proud of being Basque. We feel we belong to this country. And with this sense of pride, we try to contribute to our society. But it also has a downside to it. When something is small and the challenge is big, sometimes difficulties crop up. Difficulties to work in innovation. I can imagine a medium-sized college here, for example, 500 students, for example, that studied a medium-sized college may imagine they have to deal with all the subjects we've spoken about. Digitalization, cybersecurity, additive manufacturing. I imagine a college working in all these subjects. And I think about the number of teachers that are in these schools, and if you start dividing up, you think, oh, goodness me, each teacher needs to be involved in 3 different programs. But we've managed to come together. And by coming together, we've been able to respond to this challenge, the challenges that are out there, the challenge that the industrial fabric of our country faces. And we've created networks. That's what we've done. And in fact, these networks were already up and running in 2005 when Technica was founded. Technica is there. It's one of the 3 departments of the Deputy Ministry of VET. And in Technica, what we're working on is, of course, training people in the learning process, in getting as many people qualified in the skills that our country needs, but we're also working on digital transformation, advanced learning. There's a department in our Deputy Ministry called the Department of Digital Transformation and Advanced Learning. And we're also here to help those people who need a different kind of assistance if they're to join society, join the labour market and have a life project. So there, 3 organisations, Technique, iTalent and IVAF, all of which help us manage this system, and colleges that develop networks that can then be made use of by the whole of the system. That's one of our keys for VET here in the Basque Country. I actually joined in 1998 the VET system. That's when I started finding out about networking, the need for different colleges to collaborate. In fact, that's one of our features. And I say that because it's vital for this network to broaden, to open to the world, to open to Europe. And that's what this meeting is for. A meeting such as today, an international meeting. But the real stars of all of this, where knowledge is transferred, where knowledge is used, where we see the potential of our system, is the 184 colleges. 70 of them are integrated colleges that are committed to following this philosophy, and others that teach different vocational training courses but aren't currently what we call integrated. So it's a bit of a unique system that we have in the Basque Country. At least we think it is, because the more you travel around Europe and around the world, you realise it's actually not that unique. It's part of it's a society comprised of students, companies, institutions, all collaborating together. And another thing that's important is that we can actually reach everybody, wherever that person may be, the little tiny villages and towns. So it's a system which has many, many colleges that are located close to SMEs, that have a direct contact with SMEs, that are near families, near people. So each student in every village knows what a college knows people from the college, where they're working. That's what I mean by we're all interconnected, because we are. It gets right down to everybody. So training, entrepreneurship. We want people to be entrepreneurs in their lives and at work. We need to be competitive. And we're going to have to compete in new sectors. Here people talk about how quickly or slowly we respond to the new needs of industry, and it needs to be very, very quick if we're going to gain the competitive edge that we need. The major challenges, we face them through our networks, and even bigger challenges we're going to have to face through even bigger networks. That's why we want to share everything that we do with you. I'm going to return to the beginning of my talk to say that truly it's a pleasure to have been able to take part in this forum today, and to have been able to share so much with you. And I'm hoping to be able to share more with you in the future. Just one kind of final section that I wanted to talk about with you, which is the need for coordination. We've spoken about all sorts of things. We are a system. We want to find a response to all of these issues that we've spoken about. So we have a plan. It's called the Basque Vocational Training Plan 2030. We're currently working on it. It mentions many of these things and analyzes many of the things that were mentioned at the beginning, and it attempts to respond to many of the challenges that we've mentioned today and that have been pinpointed here in the Basque Country. We do it in an organized fashion. We prepare that plan in an organized fashion, collaborating with different stakeholders. So a Basque Vocational Training Plan. But we just brought from this Basque Vocational Training Plan 4 strategies because of how important they are to our vocational training plan. And they are, firstly, an initial VET plan. We want to grow, of course we do. We want to increase the courses that we offer, increase the services that we make available, improve the way that we offer these services, initial training, so as to include those that have special needs. We need to do so by working on the profile of our teaching staff and on integrated pathways. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that we need to be able to offer those that need them specific pathways, initial VET, adapted pathways that are almost tailor-made. We want to carry on learning with the whole world, especially with Europe, of course. We do look to European policies and we learn, of course, from them. We've also spoken about digitalization. Somebody asked the question, what would happen if we didn't have internet tomorrow? Well, we've got a digitalization plan so as to be able to head off that problem. It may well be that as things stand today, we don't lead ICT technologies, but we can at least be leaders in making the best use of them in a responsible and safe fashion. This is really important because we're talking here about the way our colleges are structured, because our colleges use ICTs, the way teachers are trained, the way students learn, the learning process. And today somebody spoke about careers guidance. How can we attract people not just to VET, but within VET towards those professional branches, just to professional areas that have a greater need of students, but also offer a great opportunity to their employees. And within our plan, we have these 4 strategies. I just wanted to share them with you before closing. And to finalize, it's time to start saying thank you. I'd like to say thank you to all the speakers, Stephen, Dawn, Effet, the COVEs, Boy the Vine, everybody that's participated. We actually invited many people to participate at this event, and everybody said yes. And we know it's difficult to find a slot in your busy diaries. So thanks to all those that have attended as well, not just those that have spoken.
So people for other countries too is very, very interesting here in this room. And I know also that you represented organizations that also are very, very interesting. We want to know you. We want to work with you. We had the opportunity to work and speak yesterday morning, sorry. This afternoon, we will have the opportunity to visit some schools, and tomorrow we will have the opportunity to work, because it's work about some project that we are developing here in Basque Country. So for us, it's very interesting to know you, work with you. We are looking opportunities to collaborate with you. So that is our intention with you. Thank you very much for coming. And I don't finish, sorry. Porque hay más participantes, no solamente.
Because there are more participants, not just those that have come from other countries. We've got participants that have come from other regions that we're working with to develop this ecosystem, this framework where we coexist. Thanks for sharing this time with us. And we also have representatives from different colleges.
In schools. So maybe we can make another exercise to try to know who is interested and what kind of projects developing in the schools and match tomorrow day is a very good day to networking. So aprobetxatu behar dugu. Bai ikastetxe aldetik, mila esker etortzeagatik eta parte hartzeagatik.
Thank you so much for coming, and in this organization, we've been helped by students from some of our colleges, so sometimes they're not mentioned, but I'd like to mention them. La Salle, Nazaret, Mecca, Churdinaga, and Lorieta, and Bidabieta. All of these colleges have let us use their students to help us. And it's, of course, part of our obligation to have youngsters, students. It's an advantage for us because they can help us. And it's an obligation for us as well because we need to include them, and it's a way of helping them in their learning path. And having said all of that, one final word of thanks for all those people that have been organizing this event. You have no idea how hard it is to organize this. So the final applause is for all of them. Carry on enjoying the visits this afternoon and tomorrow's working day, and enjoy networking as well. And so if it's okay with you, that's the end of this event. Thank you so much.